Welcome back to the Blue Jays Today Show, where today, everybody, we got to talk about a wild weekend in Toronto. The Seattle Mariners came to town and pounded us. They beat us 2-1 in the series, and there were some interesting performances as well. You had Beast and Lucas. I don't know if we can call him that anymore. He was really rough. We're going to talk about him, and as well Paxton Schultz. Who are you, and how are you good? We're going to break down what he did, yesterday against the Mariners in basically garbage time, but it was pretty good garbage time because he had a pretty phenomenal performance. As well as always, crowning the Jay of the Week, spinning that wheel, and talking Blue Jays baseball. I'm your host, Adam Peddle.
And I'm your host, Nicholas Playlog, and yeah, man, this was a rough one. It felt like, and that's the thing, right? We've had other rough series so far this season, but this one felt especially bad because it was at home. It was up against a team and an offense in the Seattle Mariners who, when you look at that thing on paper, you're like, I mean, who are you? Yeah. Who are these guys? Why are they coming here? You guys really shouldn't be scoring runs against us. And you just felt like walking into this series, the Toronto Blue Jays had so much momentum, right? It felt like everything was going their way. One more series win against the Mariners, and I'd be fucking like, if we won 2-1 here, I'd be feeling over the moon.
Oh yeah.
But the fact that they lost this series, and then in the fashion that they lost it, I mean, I just can't help but, feel a little down this Monday morning.
Yeah, I definitely feel down, and I didn't even bring this up in the intro, but Screams pointed to the fact, too, like, the lack of power is killing us, right? And we saw the combination of, like, okay, well, when our pitching staff isn't as, pristine, if you will, then the power side of things is we're gonna really feel it, because we're gonna look at what we did against the starting pitchers, and granted, very good starting pitchers and a staff in the Seattle Mariners. And we actually got a shitload of hits off all three of those guys this weekend, but the lack of power just didn't bring it over. And I mean, you're looking over the Mariners side of things, look what freaking Rowdy Tellez did, hitting 3 homers against us. You saw the power in that capacity, how that changes the entire game.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
And once they hit that homer, it was like, all right, well, we're cooked.
That's the thing, right? Like, you can you can collect a bunch of different hits, but if you're not then going on to hit with runners in scoring position, which the Toronto Blue Jays were not capable really of doing on Saturday and then on Sunday. Granted, on Sunday they were in such a hole that you're probably out of it kind of early, but the long ball is just going to make all of that much easier. And right now, we just have not had it at a consistent rate. Seattle obviously had it a hell of a lot more than we did this past weekend and won the series accordingly. Now, let's talking about Easton Lucas. Didn't want to have the guy in the starting rotation, but Max Scherzer goes down. Easton Lucas comes in and dominates the first 2 outings. Like, really looks phenomenal. Just, actually dog walks.
Yeah, his fastball percentile was 99th ranked in baseball.
Awesome,
it was
dude.
crazy.
It was literally awesome. And, because of all of that, you're starting to think to yourself, oh my gosh, are you about to pull a Bowden Francis? Well, the other shoe has officially dropped. He came out after yesterday's game, and he was speaking about his previous start and then this start right here, and he said last time was really frustrating, this time was just awful. And to remind all of you guys, Easton Lucas went 1.2 innings yesterday. I believe he gave up 7 earned runs. It was a crap load of earned runs that he gave up in the 6 earned runs, 7 hits. 2 walks. The guy had 5 strikeouts, so all of his outs he got a strikeout with, but he was getting absolutely shelled. And by the time that he left the game, it was already over. The Toronto Blue Jays offense, especially against a pitching staff like the Seattle Mariners, just is not capable of coming back from a 6-run deficit.
And let's be honest, we were all running the Beast and Lucas train, and we're like, this is hype, but we never expected him to continue that all season long. Like, maybe you give me somewhere in the middle, maybe you find a sweet spot. And he had 1 blow-up outing earlier this week, and you're thinking, okay, well, maybe we're just gonna experience like a little hiccup here. Then it's the second time in a row, and you're like, okay, well, this is the Easton Lucas we're all used to. And he actually alluded to in that quote right here, right off the top.
Just 1 second, the audio is cutting in and out according to the chat right now.
Cutting in and out?
Cutting in and out, yes.
Was it when you listened there?
Let's take a look.
No,
sounds pretty good to me.
Sounds good to us, guys.
You guys let us know if it's still happening right now.
But to Lucas's point, his off-speed pitches were a major reason why he wasn't performing like he used to. And it's very simple. Look, this is what Easton Lucas did yesterday. You can see right here the red pitches for those who aren't on our video platform or on audio. There's a lot of red pitches in the middle of the zone. That's the four-seam fastball. And the green pitches, which are the changeup, aka the off-speed pitches, a lot of them are missing and they're just not competitive. So when you're throwing non-competitive pitches like the off-speed, like the sliders, and all I have to do as a hitter is just sit middle and hit a fastball, like that's it. I mean, that's the recipe. When your secondary and third pitches aren't working, you're gonna get beat up. So he's got to figure it out pretty quick because he's probably going to start again soon.
Well, and that's the follow-up question, right? Is, you know, the Toronto Blue Jays, we are still a ways away, I think, from getting Max Scherzer back. It feels like they're not going to be rushing him into things, even though the guy is only on a one-year deal. But he's old, and it's going to take him some time. Really, the only other option, or the one that people have been throwing around, is Jake Bloss down there in AAA, right? Because his whole thing is like he's lined up right now. You know, they have it where whenever Easton Lucas pitches, Jake Bloss is also pitching down there, you know, for the minor leagues. Yeah. So, I mean, one of these starts, if Easton Lucas does continue to fumble the bag, do you think that we're going to see Jake Bloss come in instead? Or are they going to, really wait on that?
I think it depends on Jake Bloss and how he does a little bit. He has been getting beat up quite a lot. I think his last outing, not yesterday, but the one before that, he gave up a shitload of runs in like 1 and 2 innings. And it's like, okay, well, if he's going to give up a shitload of runs, what's better? What's better, Bloss or Easton Lucas? So it's kind of tough. I would wait until you get a couple more consistent starts out of him. Or you might pitch Easton Lucas again. Or you might end up going with we're talking about him in a little bit, Paxton Schultz. I mean, he gave you almost 5 innings and he was good. Like, you kind of have to just Band-Aid it until Max Scherzer comes along, and he's not even close right now.
I just don't think that we can actively be starting Easton Lucas right now. And like, I know that people in the comments can be like, oh, 2 weeks ago you were saying that he's Easton Lucas, he's great. Because 2 weeks ago he was.
Yeah,
and, since then, it's like, when you give up 6 earned runs to the Mariners, right? Like, it's not the LA Dodgers out there. That's not the New York Mets. It's not the Yankees. That's the Seattle Mariners, who absolutely destroyed you in the first 2 innings of the baseball game. Like, that's just something that we can't have happen, against an offense like that. So, I mean, I understand that there's just not that many other options right now, but this is something that the Toronto Blue Jays front office, Toronto Blue Jays management is going to need to really address soon, because I don't want to be rolling this guy out every 5th day.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you got to do is you got to play the hot hand right now. Easton Lucas was the hot hand. Now his hand's cold. People have saying in the chat, and I saw a couple articles about this, Ben Nicholson-Smith, one of them, being like, the other option might literally be bring Schultz into a starting rotation.
Like, seriously.
Like, you know what I mean?
I know it's kind of wild to say, like, this guy just made his debut, and he has, 4.1 innings of good ball. Yeah. In fact, he actually was an incredible ball because he said he tied the record for strikeouts right there. So
for like a major league debut for a bullpen.
Yeah, exactly. So that was awesome from Paxton Schultz. Can you expect that to continue? I don't know, but yeah, I think you might be onto something, man. Like, the only thing I know for certain right now is that clearly the book, at least right now, is out on Easton Lucas.
Yeah,
maybe it's not on Paxton Schultz. Maybe they're still got to figure him out. And if this is what it's gonna be, you just got to fucking Band-Aid your way until Max Scherzer comes back. Like, I guess that's what it is.
Yeah, like I only watched the highlights from Schultz, so I don't know exactly, because I was out golfing on Easter Sunday. I don't know exactly what his sequencing is. I don't know exactly what's his wipeout pitch. I mean, I saw the Mariners expanding a little bit. Maybe they got a little bit overconfident because they're thinking, oh, it's Paxton Schultz. Not to take anything away from him, but it was a very good start. So I mean, yeah, let's put this guy. I'm honestly for starting him and then maybe having Beast and Lucas. I hate that I'm saying that now. Beast and Lucas come in after him, and it's gonna have to be a bullpen day of these two.
I think it's now like officially a bullpen
because
day.
you can't just eliminate that spot. Some people are throwing out the idea like, well, why don't you just run with a 4-man rotation, cut the 5th spot. You think I'm not fucking with these guys in their old ages right now. I don't want to hurt. I don't want to change anything that's going on with Chris Bassett and Kevin Gausman.
No, don't touch that. And I can promise you that the Blue Jays are like, that would be utmost necessity. You
Yes.
know, like it's
Yes.
like we're a week away from the playoffs and we just got to make it there. And I guess maybe they do that, but I don't see that happening at all, because that's one of those things that could very easily snowball. Oh, you know, he's not fully rested. He aggravates himself. Now Bassett's hurt. Now Gosman, you know what I mean? It's just not actually like a long-term solution.
No.
So in a very, very short-term sample of, you know, a vacuum, maybe, but like they're going to need to have another option. Maybe that's Schultz. Maybe that's Easton Lucas. But it's got to be someone.
Yeah, we got to play 140 more games, and I'd rather have 2 excellent quality starts out of those guys. I'm just bringing those guys up, and then 1 bad, maybe wild card shit show than like to have, you know, question marks with those guys too with their routines.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. And they are all, I mean, not all. Barrios is still, you know, getting there, but you know, looking okay.
Working on
But
it.
you know, most of them, Gosman and Bassett, like they are doing very, very good for themselves. Bowden had himself like a pretty nice bounce back outing there too. And that's something I want to bring up as well. Is that Friday game? We were live for that Friday game, and that was some awesome baseball, man.
It was.
That was one of the more entertaining Toronto Blue Jays games that I think I've seen in actually a very long time. And I know you're probably wondering, 3-1, what was so entertaining? I mean, they were stringing hits together. They were, you know, stealing or swiping bags. They were running intelligently on the base paths. You were seeing a cannon out of Addison Barger. I mean, the guy went 0 for 4 and still probably racked up like half a WAR point there in that game alone.
He threw out 3 base runners who were in scoring position, one of which Rosarena was coming home, and he got him. Literally, that saved the game. If those 3 end up coming around the score, we lose.
Yes.
That's simple. So, yeah, I agree with you. That was entertaining as fuck, too. Great overall quality baseball game. This made me get really on the hype train. I went to Easter weekend with the fam, and I was like, guys, they're a wagon. Then we end up watching the Saturday game.
Yeah.
And it was a different story. You know what? For the first 9 innings, it was quite the battle. Jose was sticking in there. You know, he had that beef with Cal Raleigh, which is kind of wild to me. I was trying to figure out, like, how is Raleigh stealing signs or it's not stealing signs. He's probably looking for the grip on the pitch and trying to tip it off to the batter. He claims he didn't, but apparently Barrios was on him. Whatever, that happened. But it was a battle. You know, you also had Logan Gilbert. Look at that, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 2/3 off Logan Gilbert. They battled this guy.
No, that's the thing. Like they were putting up a serious fight right there, right up until the end. And like this is the type of shit that just makes you like it literally makes me ill, right? Like when you go into the 10th and the 11th. And, you know, you don't score a run. And even though your bullpen is doing it, I mean, eventually someone's going to get shelled.
Yeah.
Right? Eventually that's going to happen. And it did in the 12th inning. But you had the bottom of, first off, you had the bottom of the 9th, bottom of the 10th, and bottom of the 11th to walk this ball game off. And they never had it, and they never did it.
I know, and they had runners scoring position. I was pulling hair out of my head. Like, Bo Bichette. This is the guy you want up to play. And like Bo's been having a very great year. I don't want to be like, oh, this one bad at bat now. Bo Bichette, like fuck this guy. No, like he did come out of himself a lot. Like there was it was the classic sliders in the dirt away. You know, he's chasing. He's got one arm trying to flail at it, and then he beats himself up. So, you know, obviously you don't want to see that in that kind of spot. You need him to kind of lock in there, and he didn't, along with a lot of other Blue Jays who didn't lock the hell in. And now this confused me when I was watching, and John Schneider came out and addressed it. I was confused why the hell they didn't bring out Jimmy Garcia or Jeff Hoffman at all. Like, when they brought out Yariel, I was already kind of starting to sweat. So I was like, oh, God, this guy's wild. He actually had 2 good innings. And I'm like, okay, now maybe we're going to see Jimmy. Maybe that worst case scenario in a tight ball game, we're going to see Jimmy and Jeff. We didn't. We saw Jacob Barnes, and that was the nail in the coffin with that decision. What are your thoughts on that? And what John Schneider said was, they did. They're taking a day off today, even though they had a rest day Thursday and they pitched the day before. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, look, if that was the decision, that's because they did pitch on the Friday, I believe.
Yeah,
right?
they pitched Friday. But I don't think it was that. Actually, we could actually see how many
exactly
pitches.
What it was. Yeah.
Yeah, they pitched on the Friday. 17 pitches for Jeff, but he's gone back-to-back days before, and then 11 for Jimmy. So for me, it was. I don't know. For me, in a game like that, you kind of need to win the series right now. I don't know. For me, it's not his fault because the offense needed to score runs. That was the main fault there. But I felt like you kind of just wove the white flag, I guess, with Jacob Barnes.
Well, maybe. I hear what you're saying. I guess, like, for me, it doesn't really change a whole lot because if he would have put them in, you probably would have put them in where Yariel Rodriguez pitched anyways.
I know.
And he still gave you 2 scoreless.
But that's the thing. Like, they had designated off days, and I'm just wondering why. Like, why?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, again, I wouldn't put too much stock into that. Like, obviously, we know that Jacob Barnes is not good, and he's going to give up earned runs. I just think that if you're the Toronto Blue Jays offense, like, the lesson here is, well, we need to win the ball game before the 12th inning. Because we don't have necessarily, a pitching staff and a bullpen that deep that can handle all of it. Maybe they could have done Jimmy there and Hoffman and potentially if you would have, if in hindsight, if you could have done it perfectly, maybe you would have bought your offense like one more chance. Or 2 more, maybe right? Would that have actually made a difference? I don't even fucking know. They couldn't hit to save their life.
I know. It's just I'm wondering. They didn't really give an explanation other than like they had an off day, and I'm like, but why? Are we trying to win or are we trying to have off days? I don't know. Maybe it's early. They pitched a lot and they really want to rest the arms. Maybe that is because, they have pitched collectively. I think Jimmy's pitched over 10 innings now and it's only almost halfway through. Actually, a little bit more than halfway through April. Maybe that's the reason why. I don't know. I'm not a manager of a Blue Jays. I'm not a trainer. I don't know these things, but that was the end of that game. And it just, unfortunate the offense could not get it done. And then you had this game on Sunday. We kind of talked about it. Easton Lucas, Paxton Schultz. Wow. All right, kid. You go ahead and do some things. But the offense, after that, it didn't really matter what the offense.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, you're just never going to win a baseball game when you give up 6 in the first 2 innings. Like, it's just not going to happen. And especially against the Mariners, because now that, all right, you're going to be up against their good pen, and they got some good names too. So even after their starter, who was solid, then you're going to have to deal with them. It's just never going to be a winning formula. Obviously, this one is on the pitching staff, even though the offense did only score 3. We were out of that game, from inning 1, basically.
Yeah, it was basically over. And then I guess, the one thing we can pull away from that is it sucks we lost the series, but maybe we have some new exciting pieces in the bullpen, maybe.
Well, and listen, Paxton Schultz, to his credit, right? Like, you were when I was looking at this game, I was kind of watching it on my way back home, and I was like, oh god damn! Like, Easton Lucas is coming out. Now we're gonna have to burn the entirety of the pen right before this Houston series. Right. That's gonna be a big problem. Credit to Paxton Schultz. They did not have to do that. Right? They did not have to burn nearly as many guys as I thought they would. There should be at least a handful of individuals ready to go this evening against Houston. Is that going to make a difference? Well, the offense is going to have to score some runs for it to make a difference, but at the very least, you could say that they did that.
And Jimmy and Jeff have not pitched in 3 days, so there you go. So maybe they can come out and do something about it. Also, quick shout out to Heineman for getting 3 for 4. He's hitting over 500 this season.
Tyler Heineman, if you can believe it or not, I made a short this morning, and we're just under a month of baseball in 22 games of baseball at this point the Toronto Blue Jays have played. Tyler Heineman has the second highest WAR on the Toronto Blue Jays, and he's only played in 8 games.
That's crazy,
you know what I mean? It's
man.
like that to me is fucking nuts. The fact that so he's got the same amount of WAR as Guerrero does.
Yeah,
Guerrero's played in 3 times more games
and Guerrero's
than Heineman.
Good,
and Guerrero's doing good. That's what I mean, right? So it just goes to show how incredible Tyler Heineman has actually been. You know that I'm the biggest Alejandro Kirk stan there is, but not even I am crazy enough to keep this guy out of the lineup right now.
Yeah, dude, I love Kirk too. But play the hot guys. We don't have time to not play hot guys. You got to play everybody who's doing well right now. And if that means Heineman splitting time 50-50, fuck it. Heineman, or he's DHing, I don't care.
Until he cools off, all right. Seriously, you're talking about somebody that's batting 500. So, that's all I need to hear. I do not care what your name is or what position you play. You're in the lineup regardless of what we're doing.
I agree. Also, I wanted to bring up the whole Schultz thing. So, we talked about him a little bit, but it's kind of wild. I love stories like this when you get a guy in a player to be named later trade. We got him in a player to be named later trade. Who was it for again? I believe it was acquired 27-year-old player to be named from the Brewers for Derek Fisher. There you go. Little full circle moment. Shout out to Blue Jays Nation and Tyson with this article. Yeah, there you go. Derek Fisher. That turned into one good garbage outing for us down the line.
Well, all right. Shout out to Derek Fisher, bro. The trade or the gift that just keeps on giving.
Yeah, love it.
We got 130 people in here right now. If you haven't already done so, please hit that like and smash the subscribe button. everybody. We're going to transition and talk a little bit about Bo Bichette. He is, did have a rough at-bat there at the end of the game on Saturday, but large in part has been having a pretty good season so far. I mean, the guy is hitting. He's doing what we're asking him to do right now. He's attacking very early on. And I know that we've kind of put these conversations to bed a little bit, but Jay's Journal wrote an article earlier this morning bringing up the idea as to what Bo Bichette could be worth, because as the season goes on, this is going to be a continuous question. What is Bo Bichette going to be worth after last year, and are the Toronto Blue Jays going to be willing to pay it? Their argument is that this is at the very least a $200 million player, and that the Toronto Blue Jays should be willing to pay for it. What do you think about all that?
Yeah, I agree. I'm trying to find here what their like how many years is the $200 million?
I don't know if they say how many years.
They're just saying a random number.
I'm not entirely sure.
Because that's my big thing. It's like, well, the everyone always, it's funny, again, I go home for Easter weekend, people who like kind of watch baseball, kind of don't, are like, why is Vladdy getting paid the third highest contract, yet he's only a top 10 player? You don't understand. Well, this guy's 26, so it's like it adds up over years. He'll only get paid about a top 10 AAV, so that's why he is what he is. So for me, Bo Bichette, I mean, if you look, where does his value lie? It's the bat. And if he can get the bat back, if he can get a high batting average, and he can, drive in people and be a little bit of Boba clutch, then absolutely. The defense, it's coming around. Like, the defense absolutely is coming around, and I do like what he's done. I don't think the metrics really love him yet, but he is doing good. 0.7 WAR already, so that is very good. If he could be a 4 WAR player, then now we're talking about, a young, just to make a very, very weird comparison, Alex Bregman right here, who was a 4 WAR player for many, many years. And what is that? Well, he did settle on like a short-term deal, high AAV, but I could see him looking like $25-30 million per year. Again, Alex Bregman had the glove, but if you're putting up 4 WAR with that bat, that's all that people really care about, right? And look at Vladdy. Like, he doesn't really have the glove, but he's getting paid a lot of money. So if you give me the bat, yeah, I mean, if you give me $25 million per year, 8 years, I could see that being done. Because what is he going to be free agent? 28 years old?
Yes. Yeah.
I think that makes sense for me. And you want to lock him down to a long-term too, along with Vladdy, and that's your core.
Yeah, and we got Ann in here saying 7 for 200. I was just going to see if that's what they were suggesting there. 7 years for 200 million. If that is what Jay's, I still can't find it, but if that is what they were suggesting, then that would work out to be $28.5 million per year.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a good player, and again, right now he's off to a good start. He's batting over 300. Would like to see a little bit more power, because still 0 in the home run category, and the OPS is right there at 752. And the slugging is below 400. So, I mean, for me, you know what? If you can get that OPS number right back to the 800s where you typically live, and that batting average stays where it is right now, yeah, that is a $28.5 million player for me, especially being somebody that will be 28 years old next season. So, I mean, I guess the following question is then, are the Toronto Blue Jays going to be willing to pay for that or not? I hope so, but we'll see.
I think once you sign Vladdy, I think that opens up the pockets, right? That opens up the wallet, tap the credit card, pay as much you want, because you want to build a winning team around Vladdy. And if they do have a winning season this season with Vladdy and Bo, pay the man.
Right, man. Shout out to Jordan Keats here with a $2 donation saying 10 years, $25 million per probably seems right for Bo right now. That could also work. That would be $250 million. Quick math right there. I mean, that would 25 a year honestly feels about right. I don't know if I want to lock him down to a 10-year thing, but
it'd be 38.
We're getting up there now. Yeah, that'd be quite a lot of money on the books, 10 years from now. But either way, that is going to be a continuous conversation that's going on with these Toronto Blue Jays. Bo Bichette off to a pretty good start. We'll see what they eventually decide to do with them.
Absolutely. All right, guys, now it's time for the segment of the Blue Jays Today show where we crown the Jay of the Week. This one, Tyler Heineman's obviously awesome, but there have been some good performances, a lot of bad performances, but there's one guy that we have to acknowledge as Jay of the Week eventually. He didn't go as long in the game as we wanted to this week, but he did rack up a lot of Ks. So we got to give him a Jay of the Week eventually for being this good of a player. Jay of the Week. Nick, who is the Jay of the Week?
Shout out to Chris Bassett right here, everybody.
Yeah.
Hound on the mound. So listen. There are arguments for other people, and this week specifically, to be the J of the Week. Vladdy had a pretty solid week,
Dude, he
right?
had 8 walks and over 1,000 OPS, so very
That's
good.
a shitload of walks and, you know, a lot of OPS points right there.
Yeah.
So that is very, very good. However, Chris Bassitt is right now the second pitcher, qualified starter in baseball in terms of ERA. I believe Tyler Mahle just surpassed him in the last day or two. He was leading it for a while there, but still, we're talking about somebody that went 5 innings, 0 earned runs against Atlanta. He struck out how many people? 10?
10 people.
10 people in 5 innings.
Gave up 3 hits. That led us to having the most strikeouts in franchise history.
Yeah.
And he's been on a tear, like you mentioned. He's only given up 2 earned runs all season long.
That's nuts,
like,
man. I did not expect that at all from Chris Bassitt. Like, we were walking into the season relatively worried about Chris, right? Because last year he just did not have it. It felt like Father Time was catching up to him, and you know, we've seen pitchers like him in the past where like once that location just, you know, once the RPMs and the, you know, the vertical break and all that shit starts to drop just a little bit, and I'm talking inches right here, you know, you don't get as much as you used to, it is game over. That's been the complete opposite actually so far for Chris.
Like, especially with his velocity, like that kind of guy where you know, you get older, like a Aroldis Chapman, you don't have nearly the location like you did, but you still throw 100, so you're gonna stay in the league no matter what. So yeah, big shout out to Hound on the mound. This guy's been awesome, and honestly, every time we go and predict a series, this guy's been like I'm gonna pick it as a W. Like that's the guy right now I want on the mound going to get a W.
100%, dude. I mean, I just want to bring this up before we move on. I was looking at this the other day. So you know, you want to know, okay, like is there a reason to believe that this could continue for Chris Bassitt? Because again, guy is older and everything like that. I think so. Going over to the vertical movement on his pitches right here, as you can see, effectively all of them are on the upswing. Like every single one of them, and the one that he uses the most is the sinker, which is currently on average dropping 4 inches more than it was last year. So they're all like, the movement is just going crazy right now.
I know, it's crazy. And again, you guys know, I don't know if you can see it because of our face cam, but I love this graph too, and you can clearly see like everything's, when the tighter you are here, it's less movement towards the left and the right side and less movement towards up and down. As you can see, when you just switch over, everything just spreads across. Everything gets a little bit more further away, especially all these off-speed pitches. Like that's what I'm really looking at right here. See how like tight they are here, and then just a little bit more movement going the other way in both directions. That will create a lot of swing and miss.
100%, dude. So he is looking phenomenal right now. Love to see it, dude. We needed that, like, especially if he came out looking like he did last year. I mean, we're definitely not 12-10. You know, with the Scherzer injury, like we might not even have a positive record right now. Quite honestly.
No, like seriously, and you know, we need it. We need to keep going because honestly, without the starting pitching, like many teams, we're not a good baseball team.
No,
we live and die off it. So that is Chris Bassitt. Shout out to him. Also, shout out to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. with the honorable mention right here. Again, like I mentioned, 8 walks. You know, he hit his first homer, comes back, first series at home, signs his contract, and actually hits 316 with an OPS of 1.097. Now, again, Easter Sunday, third time bringing it up, talking to a lot of family, being like, why isn't Vladdy hitting homers? He needs to hit more homers. We pay him to hit homers. Hey, if this is your floor, dude, good job. I'll pay you $36 million for this floor.
Yeah,
you know?
100%. I mean, Guerrero needed that series. Hopefully, more homers are to come because it was about fucking time. Let's take a look at the upcoming series here for your Toronto Blue Jays. Houston Astros. This one could be difficult, man. Houston, they are not off to the best start ever. I believe they're 10-11 right now as a team. So again, like definitely not the Houston that we typically come to expect, but it's still Houston, and they're in Houston. Like all of these things, and after the series we just had, like you got to have the bounce back series because then you're gonna get New York, then you're gonna get Boston after that. Like it just does not get any easier.
No, it's the beginning. This is, I think, the beginning of the end of the really tough part of our schedule because, like you just mentioned right there, Boston's after this. Cleveland, we'll see what they are, and then finally we get some nice opponents. However, Seattle just beat us and we're going over there, but we get some nicer opponents for sure, and then it gets really hard again. Don't look at that. But yeah, this series in Houston, game 1, You got Kevin Gausman right now, arguably our second best pitcher next to Chris Bassett, going up against Hunter Brown, who's off to a great start. He's a funny story. He was kind of bad last year to begin the season, and then he got it all figured out at the end, figured it out, pitched phenomenally. Him and Bowden Francis were up there like as the best pitchers to end off the 2024 season, but we're up against him and he's off to a great start. What are you thinking in this one, Nick? First game, we just traveled over there. We're in Houston, 8 o'clock tonight.
Damn, I'm looking at the opposing Houston guys against Gausman, and holy mother of God. I mean, we like small sample size for sure, but like, damn, he must have had like a blow up start or two against the Houston Astros, because clearly a lot of them have got his number, which is not a great thing. No. Most of our guys, I guess we've done it. Yeah, you know, in a very small sample size, have done decent against Hunter Brown. Oh, dude, like this is a tough one. What is that Houston offense looking like right now?
Well, let's take a look right here. I think I could probably find something right here. Let's go to team hitting. Overall, just looking at the OPS, I am not seeing them. I'm not.
They're bottom tier, man.
Dude, bottom tier offense. Actually, I love this page a lot better. I mean, if you wanted to see, this is what we got for those video people. Okay, offense looking kind of good. Starting pitching. Okay, thank you. Now we'll go over to Houston. There you go. So overall, that offense off to a bad start. Pitchers, not bad, not terrible. You know, they're holding their own. Good whip. Okay, ERA. Relievers are really good though. So there we go. Based on this, but they are pitching this is probably one of their best starting pitchers. Granted, this is one of our best starting pitchers. I don't know. For this one, we're on the road. I love Gausman. Brown's good. We're coming off a serious loss. We're just traveled over there. Things are leaning towards an L for me, even though it might be a very good matchup. I think I might choose an L.
I understand. I was thinking the same thing, but like looking at that 26th ranked OPS from the Houston Astros, I don't think I can bet against Kevin Gausman in this one. So
he's gonna cook.
That's the thing. Like this could be one of those classic 3-1 Toronto Blue Jays wins, where you put up a couple and it's just enough, and Kevin Gausman and the pitching staff just carries it. Good thing is Jeff Hoffman's going to be available. Jimmy Garcia should be available, right?
True.
So you're going to have your good bullpen arms. We just need a quality start from Kev.
That's true. If the Blue Jays can scrape 1 or 2 runs, we might actually win this one. Before we continue, guys, let's give a shout out to the sponsor of this Blue Jays Today show.
Whoa, time for a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video. Hit your picks and knock it out of the park with Betway. Scan the QR code down below to join the action. Only available in Ontario. Must be 19 years of older to participate. Please play responsibly. Now, everyone, back to the content. Shout out to Betway over there for being absolutely phenomenal. Here are the lines for you. Astros pretty heavily favored in this one, 1.74. Timesing your money if you were to take the money line right there. Toronto Blue Jays 2.15. So, I mean, if you believe in Toronto, and I kind of do, like I like those odds enough, I would definitely consider doing it. But this is also one of those ones where flip a coin, God only knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, although I do know, I think what we just brought up, I think it's going to be a low-scoring affair. You got a struggling Houston Astros offense, and we got 2 pretty good pitchers. Under 7.5 feels like pretty good. 1.87 times your money. So if you want to check it out, guys, if you want to go bet on this game, click the link in the details or scan the QR code right here. Well, it's gone now. You'd have to reverse, but go scan the QR code. Game 2, we got Blanco. Hello, here's a little rematch of last year. Blanco going up against Chris Bassett. Blanco, if you guys don't remember why I'm all highlighting him, is because he no-hit us early last year.
Yeah, it was not a good look. It was effectively like the beginning of the end for the Toronto Blue Jays. Like when you were getting no-hit by Ronel Blanco, you knew that this was game over. Now to start this season off, he's not actually doing that well. The guy's got a 1-2 record with a 6.48 ERA. On the opposing side of things, Chris Bassett, like we just highlighted, been a fucking dog out there for the Toronto Blue Jays. I mean, this to me feels like a pretty easy layup. We got. If you're not picking a W in this one, like when are you,
dude? If the money line isn't favored to Blue Jays, I would be smashing that 10 times out of 10. You know, like it better be favored because this is a clear W for the Blue Jays. And now baseball's crazy. Sometimes it's not always true, but I would be betting money literally on the Blue Jays to win this
should
one.
should be winning that one. If they don't win this one, like, we are in dire straits. Final game of the series. You're gonna have Bowden Francis up against Gusto. He's been doing pretty decent. Nobody on the Toronto Blue Jays have had a single at-bat against him, and that actually kind of worries me a little bit because typically it takes us a while to get accustomed to somebody. Bowden Francis also doing pretty good, 2-2 on the year so far. What are you thinking here?
Well, here's what's funny. I'm looking at the matchups, and I can throw all these stats out the window because the last time that Francis faced Houston, if I'm not mistaken, was before early last year. In that same series, we got no hit. He got blown the hell up. He was a different pitcher then. He was, trying to get ahead with his curveball, trying to, hit, do things that he wasn't typically doing. He was trying to dance around the edges. I think Bowden Francis, with his new gained confidence, can pitch his stuff right in the middle and beat up a cold Houston Astros lineup. With that being said, damn, this is another coin flip game. The question for me is what I'm thinking right now is, do we actually win this series against the Houston Astros on the road?
So I've already predicted that we're winning the series, and that being the case, I do need to say that we're going to lose one, just because I'm not that ballsy to say that we're going to walk into Houston and sweep Houston. So I am going to say that we're going to lose this one. I think that ultimately the offense is just going to be a little outmatched by somebody that they're not familiar with. Maybe it takes them till like the third time through the lineup to start doing anything, and by that point, Houston starts bringing in their good bullpen and, see you later type thing. So I'm going to say that we lose this one, but we win the first two.
Yeah. Man, I feel my bias creep in because I do like Francis and I do like the Toronto Blue Jays, and I hate predicting that they're going to lose a series, especially, just because we're on the road doesn't mean it's an automatic loss. We were at home against Seattle and they came in and beat us. No, I think we'll do enough work. This guy's inexperienced. He's off to a good start. I trust Francis to put up a gem against a cold lineup, and I think the Blue Jays are just going to wear down Gusto, and I think hell, we're going to win this series. We're going to be 14-11 when it's all said and done. I'll be feeling pretty damn good.
Get back to being 3 games above 500. Ultimately, this might be a really good series as well. Like, if you guys like taking the unders on things. You got 2 really cold lineups who are not hitting home runs, and, a handful of very quality pitchers going, on both sides of the ball right now. I don't know how many runs are going to be coming in the next couple days, team.
The only one is Tuesday against Blanco, but he did no hit the
and
Jays.
That's the thing. And honestly, like, last year he was phenomenal too. Like,
also
even
cheated.
He was cheating. He was doing that. I don't know if he is still or not, but either way, like, the guy is certainly better than a 6.5 ERA. Wouldn't be shocked if he comes out and puts on kind of a decent performance.
Yeah. So with that being said, guys, let us know in the chat down below. What do you think about this series? Think the Blue Jays got a chance? Let us know down there. Now it's time to finally transition to the final segment of this video. You guys know what it is. Nick, what is it?
Time to spin the wheel.
The spinning fortune, baseball, colorful, future determining, stat analyzing, and it's a wheel that we spin every week.
It is, in fact, a wheel that we spin every single week, folks. 5-3 is the current score. So let me see where I got you here. So I'm just seeing it right now. Obviously, Gilbert was better than...
He still was better than Schwellenbach.
Still better than Schwellenbach. Schwellenbach kind of just gifted us that one. Vladdy, I assume, had a significant amount more walks than Santander.
8 walks to Santander's 1. Can't beat that.
Did Jimenez steal more than one?
He got 2. He got 1 in the Seattle series. So
all right, I missed that. But you got 1 back. And then this is...
your week.
My week.
Yeah,
wow,
I know.
So we had a bit of a steal week right there. Nice swing for me. Let's see where this one's gonna go. I remember walking into last week being pretty down bad.
I know. Hey, that's the wheel.
That's the wheel for you. Anything can happen. That's gonna be worst J.
Okay.
Oh goodness.
Love this.
Goodness gracious. And the thing is like, whatever you like, or if I let you go first, or if I go first. Shit.
Ooh.
I think
Oh, it all depends if he starts this week.
That's the problem, right? Like,
just no.
Both of us are thinking of Easton Lucas right now. That's what we're both thinking about.
What a swing! What a swing! You guys let us know in the chat too. Who you go for worst J this week?
The only thing that I don't I don't know if he's gonna start, and I never like doing that and like picking the null category, but he is still a starter.
No, I think it's okay if you wanted to go with it. I think it's okay if you want.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, right? He is still a current starter. Oh, geez. You know what? You just do it.
All right, I'll take Easton Lucas. Watch him come out and be Beastin Lucas again. Who would he be playing? He'd be playing the Yankees. Nah, I don't know if their offense is that good.
Well,
actually.
Yankees can dominate, sure.
Good.
I mean, like they're gonna
kind of
Yeah, but they hit home runs.
They do hit home runs,
and that's one of his big problems right there.
Yeah.
I don't remember if we did this before. Like, are we allowed to pick bullpen guys for this if you pick a starter? Is that something that we allow?
Starter.
Just starter.
Yeah.
All right, that's upsetting.
You want Jacob Barnes?
Yeah, I was thinking Jacob Barnes might be the play. I guess it's it has to be a Jose Barrios then for me. There's just no other option. The other three guys are just not giving up any runs right now, so
can't pick against those guys.
No.
Again, it's Barrios up against the Yankees too.
That's
so.
the thing, right? And Jose Barrios, like I could very easily see him going like 5 and giving up 4 or something like that. Like he does that on the regular. So
let's see. We got what is that? It's like overexposed. Oh, there is. Oh,
are we missing one?
Wait, it would be stolen. No. What the hell is that?
I don't even know.
Oh, it's walks. It's walks.
It's walks?
It's walks. I did a process elimination. It's walks.
All right.
It's walks.
Walks, everybody. I guess one of our things fell off. Damn.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, so who you going for? What?
Also, Barnes was DFA'd. Oh, shit.
Right.
I completely forgot about that, guys.
Dude, that was in that concoction of moves.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. Honestly, great move.
Oh, yeah. Good job.
Walks.
Oh, wait. No, it's not walks. I see walks over there. What the hell is it?
All right. It's going to be a mystery category, and I will choose a random one. Well, what is it?
What? I'm trying to figure it out here. Chase. Oh, you know what it is? It's bonus.
I don't think it's bonus player, dude. I think bonus player's down here.
Oh, that is bonus player.
Yeah, I don't know what this is.
Sure, maybe just spin again. Spin again. Where the frig is it? It's probably in my closet somewhere. DFA'd and Nick Stanley got injured. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, we didn't even bring that up. It is OPS. There we go. OPS.
All right, OPS. Well, let's think about this, folks. Guerrero is off to, or starting to do pretty well. I don't think Tyler Heineman is. He just doesn't play enough.
No, yeah.
He just doesn't. So I mean, it's gonna have to be Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and I'll be happy about that.
That's that'd be the correct pick right there. Let me see. Last 15 days. Obviously, Guerrero's awesome. George Springer. Bo Bichette. I mean, Bo's been just good. Like, is this the week where he finally? I mean, yeah, 891 OPS last 7 days. Springer's been hurt. He kind of cooled off a little bit. I guess I gotta go with my boy Bo.
Yeah.
Go with my boy Bo.
Yeah, Bo Bichette makes sense, man. I mean, if he pops 1, then you'll be fine because he's still good. He's
gonna
end up with I feel like Bo Bichette has a safe floor of like a 700 OPS
700,
and that's like his floor of a week, and then if he does pop 1, then you basically win. Let's
go. Let's do it. All right, last category, everybody. Nick's gonna be picking first, of course. Let's see what it is. Spin, 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 spin. It is. Oh, I gotta spin again. It's not OPS.
Again.
And people are saying Rodin. I picked Rodin 1 week and he fucking sucks, so I can't do it. It's gonna be K4. Is that pitcher?
I think it's.
Yeah, K pitchers.
K pitchers, eh?
So again, if you pick a bullpen guy, I gotta pick a bullpen guy. If you pick a starting pitcher, I gotta pick a starting pitcher.
Okay.
Most
wow.
strikeouts.
Who is striking people out right now?
Oh, I think it's supposed to be K per 9, right? Yeah. K per 9. K per 9. Because if a guy goes twice, then that's just game over.
Right.
So K per 9. Who's getting the strikeouts? Who's getting the strikeouts?
Who is getting the strikeouts?
Chad, who's getting the strikeouts? You got Gosman. Yeah. Schultz.
Yeah, Schultz would be one hell of a pick. Eh?
Bassett did get 10, but man, it's just like it's always like these Blue Jays pitchers. They'll get like 2. Like Gosman, I think had a start where he didn't even get a strikeout, and then he gets like 8, like out of nowhere. Yeah, you got to pick. So
I'm gonna pick Brendan Little.
Brendan Little, eh? Okay. So I got to pick a bullpen guy. Bullpen guy.
Well, if it's K per 9, you don't have to.
Oh, that's true, actually.
Yeah.
Well, if it's K per 9, then I probably want to pick a bullpen guy. I'm gonna go. Oh, Jeff Hoffman looks pretty good, juicy. Oh, Jeff Hoffman looks pretty juicy. Yeah, Jeff Hoffman looks like the clear one right here. Yeah, I'm going Jeff Hoffman.
I understand. I was between Hoffman or Brendan Little. Listen, guys, Brendan Little, the whiff on his stuff right now is actually insane. It is quite insane.
Yeah,
he's got crazy whiff. He will get the playing time because, he's the lefty. And really the only reliable one that we have. So, yeah, as long as he gets a couple strikeouts in those outings, I think I'm laughing.
I just like Jeff Hoffman's floor.
Yeah,
Jeff Hoffman's got a good
very
floor.
reasonable. But that is going to be the wheel, everybody. You guys let us know in the comments down below who you are riding with in this one. Wow, yeah, did not expect to have Brandon Little on my squad, but here we are.
I thought he'd get picked at all this year. But
nope.
We're here. Guys, yeah, let us know down in the chat. What do you think about everything we talked about in this podcast? What do you think about Schultz? Do you think he's the next guy? What should we do with Easton Lucas? And as well, the upcoming series. Do you think the Blue Jays got a chance to win and beat the Houston Astros? Let us know down there.
Yeah, please make sure to hit that like, smash the subscribe button, everybody. And as always, go Jays, go!